Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers All the Gear, No Idea match day chat. This is the show, as you know, guys. Well, I let you guys, lead the topic. You decide where the show goes and what we talk about. So today is match day. The Premier League is back. The first game is finished, I believe now. 3-0 Arsenal. It might have even been more than that. Last time I checked, it was 3-0. We play Newcastle today. Tough game. It's going to be a really, really tough game today. They have some fantastic players. They've bought some fantastic signings. They're a bit disappointed about their takeover. I believe they will come together as a club. Have quite a good season, Newcastle, this year. Wilson, Fraser, Mo Lewis, fantastic signings for them. I just think Bruce will have a bit between his teeth. I think some of them players will have a bit between their teeth, when they would link, with them Pays and people like that if the takeover would have gone through. And now all of a sudden, they've got to stick with what they've got. I think that will bring them together as a club. Sometimes, players when their abilities question, it can bring them together. They start thinking, actually, do you know what? We're going to prove we're good enough. We're good enough to get Newcastle where we want to be. Like I say, and I think Newcastle could have a good season. Obviously, looking at us guys, it's going to be a tough game today. What mentality we're at, who knows? I don't think there'll be many changes to the team that finished our season, on a bit of a high. That's one positive you can take going into this season. Is that we finished quite highly, in terms of performance levels and, in wins and scoring goals. We didn't finish high in the league, any stretch of the imagination. If any of you guys want to drop in the comments, about today's game or any opinions you've got about anything that's going on at the moment, please drop them in. You lead the conversation, as I say. Obviously read Karen Brady's article, as you all do, talking about how they're desperate and even the richest of rich are suffering at the moment. It's funny how all clubs more or less are signing players, though, apart from us, isn't it? It always goes back to that of any excuse for our board not sign or to not do what's even expected, let alone go above and beyond what's expected when running a football club. Hello, Chris. How you doing, mate? Yeah, so it'll be tough today. Really, really tough. I'm just going to have a look, guys. See if there's any major news today in terms of West Ham, obviously, apart from the game, which is the main thing, right? Which, can we all wait, or are we a bit like, actually, I don't really want it to come tonight? I don't know. I'm a bit in two minds about the game. Very, very nervous about tonight's game. Obviously, we've got Charlton on Tuesday as well, guys. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so not much really. Tony says fixtures computer has been fighting West Ham. Apparently, I don't see that, Tony, myself. Just some stuff about Callum Wilson there. And obviously, we're linked with the guy called Marcelo Brozovic, I think he's called his name. That's another one. Michael Owen as well. Did any of you guys see that? I'm just reading there. Michael Owen reckons we're going to finish 10th. Well, I'll tell you what, Michael, I'll take your optimism. If we were to finish 10th, that would be an incredible season. And I would love to see it, but I can't see it myself personally. I don't know what you guys think that are watching along live now. Just have a look here. Yeah, there's not much really. It's just more or less build up, and obviously it's the Declan Rice stuff, obviously, that keeps floating around. Who knows what's going to happen? It would be quite telling to see whether he's in that starting lineup today. I think, if he's not in it, then I think they're really considering sending him. Here as well, Gary Lineker tipping West Ham for relegation. Apart from that, guys, it's a bit the news until later, obviously, when we properly go through it. Do you think there was any chance of us selling up this year? I swear the ball can't afford to run the club. They can't, mate. I think that's very clear now. They're clearly not cash rich. And it's would love to see it. Obviously, there's massive rumours the club is going to be sold, but I can't see it, mate. I can't. I think the news that will come out something along the lines of it came in, or they have received a bid over the last sort of few months and it was rejected. Apart from that, I'll be honest, mate, can't see anything happening until that 2023, that mystery deadline. James says, I think Moyes will still be the manager. Do I think Moyes will be manager at the end of the season? It's a good question, actually. That's a really good question. There's a good chance he might not be manager after 10 games, mate. Them first 7 fixtures are not kind. And they can hang him out as a scapegoat a little bit. Obviously, we wouldn't fall for it ourselves personally. We're not going to fall for that. The media may spin it that way. But will he be manager at the end of the season? You know what? I'm behind Moyes. It's not his fault, a lot of this. And I think anyone could be managing that club at the minute and they wouldn't be successful. Hope he is, because that means he's done his job, and we've had an okay season if he's there. If he's not, then that would, probably mean that we're having a bad season and, things have gone wrong, and that's not what we want. As much as, it's another stick to hit the board with, as fans, obviously we want West Ham to do well. We would always not support the regime, support the team, as the famous line goes. I hope he is there at the end of the season, because it would mean that we've had a good season. Who knows? Who knows, mate? Questioner. I have a horrible feeling Fabianski is over the hill, and with no reliable backup will cost us lots of points. Last year, mate, let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. Martin and Randolph, are they? They're not. I wouldn't even say they're good backup, let alone top quality backup or realistic competition for Fab. So I think that's a good point, mate. Good afternoon, all. I want to sniff whatever Owen has been sniffing. If anyone wants to come on the show, let me know. Message me on Twitter. As the squad been announced, no, and obviously JP is coming into that a bit. Hey Luke, just tuned in from Western Australia, hoping to keep awake for the game. I hope it's worth it, but like most of us, just can't stop. Keep the content and live. Love your channel, I assume, not live your channel. Love that, live your channel. Hope we have a good start. Tough games after, very, very tough games, mate. After. So, thanks, JP, for joining us. Always good to see other channels in the chat. Keeps that West Ham community that we are as channels. Do you know what I mean? We all get along, and we all try to help each other out, to get bigger and better, to give you more content. And it's, it's always great to see channels in the chat. The takeover stuff, like I say, the rumours are out there, here, there, and everywhere. Mainly from that secret agent guy that appeared on Spencer FC, saying that at the end of the year he expects something major to happen. I don't know. I hope it does. Like I say, not yet. I personally don't think this yet. I think these guys are too greedy, and they won't accept a bid of, a realistic bid of, say, I don't know what West Ham's worth, 350, 400. And I think they'll be stubborn, and they'll be thinking, do you know what, we'll sit on and wait for 600, 700, and that's never going to come. And then that's the way they can get round and say, we are openly trying to sell the club. Our valuation's not been met, so that it's like they're playing the game, so they won't give up the reins of the club. They look like they want to. And, there's that can play them games with the, we're not investing because we're looking to sell. And then they just sit till 2023 or whenever it is that they do sell. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we are taken over by the end of the year, which I can't see. I hope I'm wrong. Epi says, what would be your lineup today? I don't think it's going to change, mate, personally, from what ended season. Johnson, O'Connor, well, Fabianski, Rice, Souček, Bowen, and who was it? Was it Fornals? Oh, my brain's gone. Fornals and then Noble playing in that weird sort of number 10 floaty free roll. Then Antonio up top. That's what I think will be the lineup. Your question is, what would my lineup be? My lineup would be slightly different. I would like to see a front, Haller up top, Antonio, Fornals, and Bowen behind. Whether you're playing Bowen on the left attacking side or Antonio on the left of the attacking side, they're both right footers, so there's a bit of a problem there. But it gives them the option to cut inside. But that's the only thing. I would have Noble out for Fornals. Noble for Haller, and then Haller up top. Fornals in that sitting role. Apart from that, it's going to be a tough game though for those fullbacks today. It really is. If Ryan Fraser starts, and obviously St. Maxim tore Zabaleta a new one last year, and that's a big test for whoever plays Fredericks or Ben Johnson. It's going to be a tough game, especially if they're riding confident. Almiron, I'm a big fan of as well. It reminds me of Lanzini. When Lanzini was really good, I think Almiron's got that same sort of vibe about him. So that would be really, really interesting. A good question. Thanks, JP. JP says we do need good guy inspiration channel. As without you guys, mine will be around. Lovely to hear. Lovely to hear. Two up front, Luke. In a normal situation, if I thought, okay, we're going into this season full of confidence, maybe two up front. Maybe you'd go Haller, Antonio up front. Question is what are you going to be playing then? Are you going to be playing left and a right midfield? Or are we going to go compact? Is it going to be like a tight diamond? Where you could play Rice, CDM, then you go, Souček and Fornals, Lanzini top of the D, or go in there. And that's what creates some problems. Purely because of the left side. Who's going to be your left winger in a two up top? Bowen's your obvious right. Anderson doesn't look like he fancies it for me. That's what my issue is there with two up top. Good question. If we could, if we would have gone out and bought, for example, said Benrahma, or Grady would have stayed, for example, I'd be with you with the two up front there. But I think it leaves us a little bit short in that midfield. I think, modern day football, you have to have that middle. You have to have that three in the middle there, to compact it, especially the good teams, when you come against the Man Cities, the Manchester United, etc. It's that, you know what I mean? Afternoon. Want to join me for a watch along? I would, mate, but I'm going around my sister's house for a barbecue. Otherwise, I would. That way I can eat food, and that will keep me happy when we're about 3-1 down by 45 minutes. Hi, Gary. I will do a watch along with you one day, though, mate. I'd love to do one. I always like joining. I love the banter with the. I don't know if you guys caught it last week. West Ham Fan TV and Amos Chat during the friendly had loads of banter going on. Nicking viewers and then sending viewers over there. It was a lot of fun. So definitely one day, mate. I'll look into doing one of them. I want to see Alassi. Alassi. I'll spell his name. I want to sell. Let's see. I don't know what that means, mate. I'm sorry. Almiron reminds me of Shrek. He's a good player, though. Good player. I really do like him. I was a bit jealous when they signed him as well. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Right. Hi, my man crush. Who's your man crush? JP. I hope it's not me. I wonder if any new players Sorry, I wonder if any of the new players at Newcastle bought will play today. I expect Callum Wilson to make an appearance. You know, another guy I keep forgetting to mention every time I talk about Newcastle this week, Andy Carroll. Anyone see Andy Carroll go in training the other day? I don't believe he scored for the Newcastle first team yet either. No, it's coming. It's coming. Him up against Diop, I don't fancy it. Him up against Ogbonna, potentially I would fancy it. But, you know, if Diop, not the best in the air. If he came in as well behind Cresswell or even behind Johnson, you've got to be fancy Andy Carroll, you know, to win those headers. That'd be interesting. Andy's definitely that. And then, you know, how can we forget, you know, to John Joe. John Joe's always good for a goal against West Ham. Always liked John Joe as well as a player. And he is a massive West Ham fan. He's from Romford, isn't he? You know, when we were linked to him, you know, and there was a lot of criticism about signing him, I was one of the ones who wanted him. I know I'm probably going to get a little bit of stick in the chat now, but we got anyone who can ping a ball like him? A man can spread the ball for fun. Got a lovely strike on him. You know, he can blow a bit hot and cold in games. You know, he is a bit of that sort of player. I think, you know, at West Ham, he would have been playing for his club, you know, playing for the team he loves. I said we've got no one who can ping a ball like him. There's no one in our team that, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, there's no one in our team that can ping a ball 40 yards like he can. So I like John Joe. I really do. I don't like him when he plays against us. You know, as a player, I think he would actually add to West Ham. You know, boats sailed a bit now. Stuck with Lanzini and Anderson. Don't want to be there. Potentially lost Yarm and Wilshere. Yeah, I don't get the Yarmolenko one. You know, I can understand he's, you know, he is injury prone. Listen, every time he plays, got a goal or assist in him. He's one of the only players that we've got that actually shoots. Left foot is an absolute wand when it does released. So, interesting. What we got here? You're welcome anytime. Lessie, youth defender. Yeah, I've heard of him, but obviously I haven't seen him. I can see a 4-0 placed in. I think there'll be goals in it, mate. I've done my Hollywood bet of the day. I always do it first game and last game of the season. I think, what is it? I do over 1.5 every single game. So, Premier League, Championship, there's something like 200 to 1. I only put on because I had a free £1 bet of Ladbrokes. You know, and at the moment, you know, the first game has come in. So let's hope so. It'd be nice to win 200 quid, wouldn't it? Even if West Ham don't win, it'd be nice to win 200 quid. That pays for my new Xbox that I want. What else can we talk about? Any of you guys watched any cool stuff on Netflix recently? Cobra Kai, I've got to give it, guys. You know, I did watch the first 2 episodes when they came out on YouTube Red a couple of years ago. And then, you know, I just refused to pay for it and I couldn't find a decent stream online. I've got to say, I just finished Cobra Kai season 1 and 2. What a show. Honestly, what a show. Listen, Karate Kid is one of my favourite films as a kid, apart from like Ghostbusters and Back to the Future. You know, Karate Kid is well up there, you know, top 20, top 15, you know, 80s nostalgia films if you were born in that era. And this obviously picks up, you know, later on in the story. It's a fantastic show, guys. Honestly, if you loved Karate Kid, or if you bored and need to watch a program to take you up to West Ham kickoff, Cobra Kai is honestly one of the best shows I've watched in a long time. It's brilliant. 80s cheese, funny, fighting. It's just a great show. Never bet on your own team. Whenever I bet on West Ham, mate, it's always West Ham to lose. I never bet West Ham to win. I think, what did I put on Super 6 today? I think I put West Ham lose 3-1 on Super 6. That's why I'm never, ever going to win Super 6, because I never put West Ham to win. I just can't jinx us. I can never, ever jinx us. Shelby is good. It looks like Dr. Evil. All or Nothing Spurs is good series. How We Should Run. Yeah, that's one of the ones on my list, because I watched the Sunderland one, which I really enjoyed. But that was a really good show. That was. Tottenham, I've got to watch that one. I've not even watched the Man City one yet. Gary says the girlfriend's coming back in season 3. Yes, obviously, with no spoilers, guys. Right at the end, obviously, there was a little ease of Abby coming back. I tell you, I do want to see come back. If any of you are Karate Kid fans, I want to see Terry Silver come back. You know, the proper bad man from Karate Kid 3. That's what I want to see. If I've got a wish list of what I want for season 3, I want Terry Silver to come back. Yeah, enough of that. More West Ham. I'm trying to think much more West Ham. Obviously, Charlton, Tuesday, guys. I think me and Paul are going to do a podcast Tuesday for the game. So, yeah, we'll talk about that then. But obviously, again, another game I don't really fancy. I'm surprised that game's not on telly, to be honest with you, as one of the ones that, you know, we could potentially go out. If we do win that, obviously we play Leeds and Hull. But yeah, you know, Charlton, Bowyer, you know, a manager that's always touted as becoming, you know, the next Stam. You know, his name's always in the hat, isn't it, for that? Mine's nearly here, Gary. The Juventus one is better than Spuds on Netflix. Oh, I'll have to watch that. We'll have to watch that. I don't know what I'm going to watch now. Cobra Kai's finished. I don't know what to get into now. I mean, I just got Sky Go. I was tempted to go back and watch Sopranos. I've never watched it, and I feel really bad that I've never watched that program. Apparently, that's one of the best TV shows ever made, and I've never watched it. So, you know, that's one I might go into. Every now and then, you know, I catch a series that I like. Yeah, obviously, I love Narcos. I've watched all the Narcos. I love Peaky Blinders. I loved all the Top Boys and all things like that. I do love my gangster programs and, you know, that sort of real life stuff. Yeah, so Cobra Kai was a bit different for me. I'd love them to do something like that with Back to the Future or something like that with Ghostbusters, you know, where I know there's a Ghostbusters film coming out next year, but, you know, I'd love something like that where it's like they pick up on all these 80s films and bring them together. If you've just joined in, guys, sorry, it's just got off a little bit of tangent here in terms of Netflix and stuff, but I will get back onto the West Ham. So West Ham to win 2-1, goals from Souček and Diop from set pieces. Souček is in my Sun Dream team. Nearly every one I did last night, so you know, I took the 10. Souček made nearly every team because I think he's good for 8 goals this year. I think he will get 8 to 10 goals. Like Tom. Looking forward to watching West Brom tomorrow. Yeah, that will be good. That would be interesting. You know, see how Grady gets on now. Yeah, we'll be watching. I'll be watching Liverpool Leeds as well because those games again. This is my brain. You know, this is 20 years ago. These games. I remember a fantastic 4-4 game, Liverpool Leeds, because one of my friends when I was at school was a massive Leeds fan. This is when Leeds were fantastic. You know, back in like 2000, 2001. And a Liverpool Leeds game really sticks out. Mark Viduka scored 4 goals in that game, so I'll definitely be watching that game. It's a proper nostalgic game that is. DJ Bloker says, if we don't win today, where do you see our first win coming up? I think it's Fulham, isn't it? Is it Fulham after those first 6, 7? Yeah, might have to wait till Fulham. You know, the Spurs game can always go either way. I think we're playing a different animal in Arsenal today. In Arsenal this season, you know, it's not. Arsenal looks like a much improved side. So, yeah, it's tough, mate. On your minds. What's your top 5 all favourite movies? It's always such a hard question, isn't it? Top 5. I can't do it in a specific order, and I'm going to do 10. I'm going to do 10 for you, purely because it's very hard for me to come in any order. You know, it's very hard to go. That is my favourite. You know, there's a film that is, for me, the most impact and most meaningful in my life, and it's a funny one, but it's just my ultimate childhood, you know, and it sums me up. But yeah, right, top 10, yeah, top 10, right, no particular order. Wolf of Wall Street is in there. I absolutely love that film. I love anything that Leonardo DiCaprio does. Catch Me If You Can, Wolf of Wall Street, Shutter Island, anything that Leo does is the De Niro, Pacino of our time. So definitely in my top 10, Wolf of Wall Street, million %. Absolutely love that film. We'll put in there as well, again, no particular order. And you'll notice that it's same director comes up quite a lot. Fellas, masterpiece, absolute masterpiece, fellas. People will sit here and argue that Godfather is the best gangster film of all time. It's a fantastic film, Godfather, but for me, Goodfellas is the best gangster film ever made. Just brilliance, pure brilliance. Pesci, Yotta, Nero, masterpiece, absolute masterpiece. But yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, fellas. In no particular order. And again, some of these are nostalgic, and the reason they get there. So Jurassic Park, and that's Jurassic Park 1, purely because of how I felt when I see that as a kid. You know, Jurassic Park 1 came out 92, I think it was, so I was 7. You know, at 7 years old, seeing a dinosaur on the screen, wow. Do you know what I mean? I still get goosebumps now from that scene where Alan Grant looks out of the Jeep and sees, you know, the Diplodocus walking along, and the music comes in. Just, yeah, Jurassic Park for me, again, for a moment, just pure nostalgia, just unbelievable. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. There's not much else I can say about it. It's one of them, like I say, goosebumps. Still to this day, I watch that film. Love all of the Batmans, all of them. Nolan's Batmans, love Keaton's Batmans. So again, not in any order, but the Batmans have to go in there. I love Michael Keaton's Batman, and I'm absolutely buzzing that he's going to come back as Batman. Apparently, you know, as an old man Batman. So yeah, any of the Batmans I absolutely love. Back to the Future has to be in there for me. Has to be, again, probably barring the film that I'll mention later, my favourite film as a child, and probably one of the most rewatchable films of all time is Back to the Future. Number one, listen, I've done loads of research because I'm a bit of a geek with films and stuff. You know, number one, as a study was done, and it was said that it's probably the most perfect film ever made in terms of storyline. Plot holes always, you know, sorted out and stuff. So yeah, man's Back to the Future. Quickly moving on because I want to get back to West Ham in a minute. Rocky films, all the Rocky films I absolutely love. You know, sport and stuff. So massive Rocky fan. I love The Prestige, Christopher Nolan, the Magician film. I thought arguably for me the best film he's made. I think so many. I'll miss out the other three, but the only other film that has to go in for me, my favourite film of all time, probably the most powerful, most impact film for me, and you're all going to laugh at it. As a child, the first film I ever see at the pictures was Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 1 is my favourite film of all time, without a doubt. It's, I can rewatch that film and find new jokes every single time. I wanted to be a Venkman when I was a child. All of my friends, you know, Lee from the channel, Paul from the channel, all will tell you as well. T's favourite film of all time. Absolutely love it. Absolutely buzzing about the new film next year and the fact that the old cast are coming back. So, number one, Ghostbusters. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Right, let's go back in. DJ Blokey says Sopranos was an excellent watch. The 1970s Liverpool Leeds was all out war. Yeah, there's a lot of hatred between the two clubs. Do you think Deck will go? I think a lot will depend on today's result, potentially, as well. If we have another, you know, just a mediocre, not a very good performance, Chelsea put out a fantastic performance, or even Chelsea put out a loss, and they still look slightly weak at the back, could push Frank to go for it. I don't think, again, watch, you know, all the boys got Amish Chat and Sampan TV, JP, etc. You know, we all sort of seem to, you know, sing off the same sheet in terms of Declan won't look for the move. If the opportunity is given to him to go, in terms of we accept a bid, etc., he will go. But when that is, I don't know. But I will say, with Dex, enjoy every game he plays now, because every game will be his last for us. Enjoy it. He's with whatever happens this season, even if he stays to the last game, enjoy it, the Declan Rice farewell show from West Ham. every performance, I expect him to put, at least an 8, 9 out of 10 performances like he did last year. And I think if we are to stay up this year, Gary, a lot of it will be Declan Rice putting in Scott Parker level performances to carry the 11 with him. Hope he stays. I think, next summer, goes to the Euros. Yes, listen, I've been spouting this off for 2 years. Goes to the Euros. It's a good tournament. £100 million player. Then, if used wisely, £100 million could sort us out as a team. What could have 100 million done this year, for example? Antonio play up front? Yes, I think so. And I'm not in the know. I don't know the team sheet. Yeah, I don't think David will change anything from the team that finished the game against Aston Villa. I think it'll be exactly the same, unless he wants to put Haller in. But again, I don't know whether he fully fancies Haller. I don't know. Million percent. Thing you don't teach me. All right, I do teach. I help out, mate. Top set year 6 maths, mate. Maths is my second best subject, mate. I do top set, not bottom or middles. I do top maths, mate, and I'm trusted by my head teacher, my assistant head teachers to do top set maths in year 6. So that's the top end of my school. The Untouchables is my favourite film, mate. Very good film. Anything gangster I like. I too, I love as well. I love Training Day as well. That's a bloody good film. Ever since a kid, I wanted to be a gangster. Yeah, probably one of the best movie lines of all time. Rembrandt, brilliant film with Leo. Yeah, rightly so. Got his Oscar. Jurassic Park '93 is my all-time number 1. Still is to this day. That's a great choice, mate. As I say, it made my top 10. Fantastic film. Did you see Moyes' press conference? He backed Noble, knew nothing of any in and out. Mind you, he looked like he was wearing a stab-proof vest. I agree, mate. I agree. Yeah, I'm glad he said that Mark's entitled to his opinion and stuff. He didn't go down the sort of typical football manager route, tried to avoid it a bit. Yeah, it's interesting. I've got a lot of sympathy for Dave. I have to say, I have got a lot of sympathy. Like, so, as we all know, he wasn't any of our first choice. I've got a lot of sympathy for him. Keaton is the best man ever. I love Keaton. I love Mark Keaton. I love Nolan as well. Sorry, not Nolan. Bale. Did love Christian Bale as well. Keaton is just, me and my mates, when we have the Batman discussion, Keaton has got the best psychopath smile, but he's got that mask on and he just does this little thing with his mouth. It's like, yeah, that's Batman. You've got that hidden nutcase in you. You've got that ability to switch your nutcase. I think what it is, I think Bale is the best Bruce Wayne. Keaton is the best Batman. Shoot the messenger. I'm not looking forward to Robert Pattinson, but then again, you may have a worldie. Robert Pattinson is obviously the next Batman. That's to protect him from the backstabbing from Sullivan. Or Sheezy, hi. Hello, mate. How's it going? JP says hi. Darren says evening. Ghostbusters was a banger. As I say, favourite film of all time. Like, without a doubt. I've got toys still. And I know that's really sad. Mrs. hates it. My wife absolutely hates it. I've got a £500 collection of Ghostbusters stuff. Before I met her, so when I was like in my sort of early 20s, I collected these proper collectible action figures of the movie they released about 2008. Yeah, they're worth an absolute fortune. Yeah, I'm a bit sad, but the old Ghostbusters. Hey, Daz. Daz up. We'll get 60 million for Rice maximum. Could replace him with Ibrahim Sangari and Baptiste Cemetery. Would cost combined of 24 million and spend the rest on fullbacks. If that was the case that we did sell him, like the signings you're saying, mate, I really do. I think that's how it should be spent. The question I'll put back to you, mate, is would you trust these guys to do that? And if not, James, as I said last time, you'd have to send in Drax the Destroyer to go and sort out David Sullivan, I think. What do you think about Tony Martinez moving to FC Porto? I didn't actually know that one, mate. Well, good luck to him. Honestly, good luck to him. You know, hopefully he does well there. You know, they may have seen something that we didn't, and a few managers that have managed. But hey, James, think he will give us one more season. Chelsea might gamble we go down the season and get him cheap. City not mentioned. They need a player like that. Yeah, obviously Fernandinho needs to be replaced at some point, doesn't he? Depending on how well Rodri does this year, I assume. You never know. Someone like Liverpool might even sniff around. You know, Fabinho may, you know, go somewhere else. Who knows? Manchester United, I think you can't rule out Man United. Looking at him, you know, if they sold Pogba, they have the sort of funds, you know, they need, and you know, could play him there and let Bruno Fernandes do his magic. I don't know. He won't be at West Ham next season, though. Let's just say that he may be there this season, but he won't be here next season. Hi, Ken. Hi. Not a chance, mate. We're by Glenn Whedon. What's your score predictions for tonight's game? Well, my Super 6 prediction, mate, was 3-1 Newcastle. I know it's really bad as a West Ham fan, you know. It's down to lose, but I never ever put us to win. I just can't jinx us. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Thanks for all the comments, guys. Really good. Like I say, I'm my best to read out as many comments as I can. Sorry, that was. I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust the owners with the money. And I'm. All right. Anything else, guys? Any questions? Anything you want to ask, or if you want to come on the show, please do. Same here, Ken. I was born in 1964. But how could I forget? How could I forget Adam West? Legend, absolute legend. If we're talking Batman, listen, Adam West has a place in my heart, mate. As Batman, I love the geezer. Absolute legend. Obviously, love all the, you know, all the Marvel films as well. I love the Avengers and all that as well. I'm 3 in 5. If you still want a best, you might let the conversation drift. So yeah, why not? Why not come on, mate? I tell you what, I'll give you the link now, mate. You know what? Need someone to talk to. I'm a bit bored on it. All right, where are you, JP, on Twitter? Let me find you. Here we go. John Phillips. Got him. Right, bear with me, mate. Let me just type this in. Sorry, guys. I know this is riveting television. I need to send this to JP. I'm only going to go for about another half hour, 15 minutes, JP, but always nice to have a little chat with you. What it is, I haven't got Twitter on my laptop. I forgot my password, so I have to like type it in just like this, like old school. Who would you buy as an alternative to Tarkowski? I was watching West Ham Fan TV's little show this morning. I say little show, they're massive. You know, and there was mentions, you know, of Smalling, 20 million, John Stones loan, Phil Jones as well. Any of them really? You know what we need? We need new Ginge. You know what I mean? Just someone who's you know, in there with a tackle, in there with his edge. You know, a bit nasty, bit naughty. That's what we need, and that's what we're lacking. I like Tarkowski. I don't think he's going to come. I really don't. And if he does come, it will be for all the wrong reasons. In terms of, you know, we've just, you know, made him an offer he can't refuse. Basically, in terms of money, won't be in terms of he actually wants to be there. In my opinion, who knows? JP, I have sent you that link, mate. I don't know whether you want it on your personal account or whatever. Link has been sent, mate. Please do come on. Yeah, if any of you guys, you know, you feel brave and you want to have a little chat and talk West Ham, please do. Please don't be shy. I will send you the link on Twitter if you are on Twitter, and it'd be nice to chat to you guys. I'm going to give JP a couple of minutes because obviously he's probably, you know, setting up and he's put his guitar down and all that. Should I send it to him on his other account just in case? His other account just in case. Oh, if you haven't subscribed, guys, if you're new to watching, I think most of you guys are subscribers, but is it? You know, we're so close now. We're so close to 3,000. I would love to have hit it today. Doesn't look like we're going to. You know, I don't think we'll be able to get 60 that quick. Yeah, I would love to hit it at some point, you know, soon in the next few weeks. And it'd just be nice, you know, it's a nice target that we would have hit. I wouldn't buy anyone. I'd go for a left back and a right back and promote LS. Another one I like as well, Max Aarons from Norwich. I don't think he's got a club yet, has he? Please tell me if I'm wrong. He's a great little right back. You know, I would have loved us to have gone for both, to be honest. Max Aarons and Jamal Lewis. I think they would have been, you know, fantastic signings for us. But doesn't look like we're going to sign anyone. I'd like to go for Ruben Semedo from Olympiacos. Is that Semedo, the guy at Barcelona? Is he from Olympiacos, or is he on loan at Olympiacos? Because Barcelona's got Semedo as well, haven't they? Or Luis Felipe from Lazio as alternatives to Olszewski. Yeah, Luis Felipe is a good one. Listen, I just don't think our scouting system's big enough or brave enough. No, I don't think they've got the links, the agent links, scouting links, club links. We're not really an attractive club apart from money-wise for players. So yeah, I don't think any of them will sign, mate. I really don't. Oh, it's Nelson Semedo at Barcelona. Yeah, great player, great player. Angel Dumfries and Jemmy Russelin for fullbacks would probably cost 25 to 30 minutes. Russelin is a very, very good fullback. A French fullback. I think he plays for, is it Werder Bremen, I believe, something like that, or Wolfsburg. Very, very good player. Dumfries as well, obviously, you know, goes without saying. Very good player. Max Aarons is still at Norwich. See, why are we not winning? We're not winning in these players. You ever watch it? The women's team? I haven't actually. I can't say I have. No, doesn't interest me. Not nothing against it. You know, just no, doesn't interest me. No, that's Nelson Semedo. Yep, thanks, mate. Don't get me wrong. Taki is a good defender. Not at that though. Yeah. We don't. He's not the priority. You know, we've all said it. It's fullbacks. Fullbacks is the priority, not centre backs. It's the fullbacks is the priority. That's the issue, isn't it? You know, we need to get fullbacks in. Doesn't look like it's going to be that way. Afternoon from Australia. Shouts JG. Selic at Lille is a good right back, very good. Good day, Neil. And Neil says hi, folks. Yeah, JP. I think he will be joining me in a minute, and we'll talk for 5-10 minutes or so, and then we'll wrap it up. I tell you what, guys, if none of you have seen them yet, I tell you, it's a great channel, up and coming channel. Get fantastic views as well. And I was on the show last week. Claret and Blue Army TV, a fantastic show. You know, I like the way it's run. I like calling stuff. It's a fantastic show. You know, and I'd love any of you guys. You know, yous are free to come on. As I always say, I always put it out there to you guys. If you want to come on, get in touch or in the live chat, and I send you it on Twitter. We're not on Facebook. You know, I came off Facebook, my personal account, about five years ago. I just, you know, I'd had enough of it. One of the best things I've ever done, and obviously because of that, I haven't got a Free Hammers Facebook page because you have to have a personal account to run a business account on there. So it's only Twitter or Instagram. Do you think Moisey will? Yeah, I do, mate. I do. I do think it's his plan. I think then fullbacks doesn't become as exposed. I think, yeah, maybe he's thinking up on the left, Tarkowski. Then he can bring Masuaku as a left wing back. He won't be as exposed there at left wing back as he is at left back. And obviously you've got right side Fredericks or Johnson. I don't know. I think if you want a more attacking style, Fredericks. If you want a more negative one. It's Johnson. Here he is, Mr. P. I'll let you answer that one as well, mate. Do you think Moyes will go with a back three if we was to sign Tarky?
Well, bearing in mind we're not willing to match their £50 million bid, mate, I don't think it's a reason. I don't think it's a relevant question. But if we had the money, yeah, we probably would. I reckon we would.
Yeah, because I was just saying that it would leave players, for example, like Masuaku, less exposed the left wing back as a left back. So maybe that is his idea of he wants three at the back so that the fullbacks doesn't become much of an issue as a quick fix potentially. Yeah.
But mate, you know as well as I do, when it comes to West Ham, mate, quick fixes never work. That's half the issue.
Just jumping in here again. I think 3-4-3 would suit our squad, Kent, to be fair. If we sign Tarkowski, another class centre.
But having said that, though, mate, as much as I agree with Fo, and hello, good to see you again, Fo. One thing I've got to say, can we really afford to get a better class of centre back than Diop and Ogbonna? Well, we're going to be able to afford that money. That's the thing.
Yeah, I was saying just before you came on, mate. What we need, if we were going for another centre back, I think we need another Ginge character.
Yeah,
just someone who's gets in, gets stuck in, takes no crap, no prisoners. We don't need a pretty footballer. I'm not too sure about Tarkowski. What style of player is it?
Are you implying that our most of our footballers are fugly in that case, mate?
But you know what I mean. Someone who's just a bit nasty. His teeth. I don't know whether Tarkowski's like that. Is Tarkowski like that? I'm not 100%.
Well, but apart from his challenge on Bowen towards the end of last season, mate, I wouldn't have said so. But yeah, I agree with you. We need a sort of someone's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck, sort of like a Repka style Collins, as you said. The Terminator as well, for that matter. Him, somebody like that. But again, it's big money for that. That's the problem.
Kent says, I watch Claret and Blue Army TV all the time, not the show. Like I say, fantastic show, guys. Please go and check them out. Really, really good. Me and John have both been on. He's the reigning defending Claret and Blue TV quiz champion. JP, always go away. I don't like it when people do that. I don't like it when people do that. Do you know what I mean?
So I know. Isaac's been watching my channel for a little while. He's just he's just trying to be. Just trying to be funny, But maybe he needs his sugar rush for the afternoon. Who knows?
JP, I don't think Tarky is worth the dough. I wouldn't pay 50 million for him. But then again, is that going rate for someone who's got an England cap?
No, it's a hands off, mate. It's exactly the same as Van Dijk. Right? Southampton put that massive amount of money on him, for him, because they didn't want to sell him. Burnley are in exactly the same position. It's a hands-off price tag, which is why they're saying the going rate for Dex is 800 million. I bloody wish. 800 million.
Stadium and everything.
It's because again we don't want to sell him. So it's a hands-off price tag. I've been saying it for donkey's years, and especially over the last few transfer windows, mate. At the end of the day, I reckon the club's mentalities are: if you're that stupid to pay that amount of money, you're welcome to him.
What is your opinions on Deck then, mate? I can't say I've heard much of your opinions on Deck.
Because I try not to repeat it, mate. I've been saying the same thing for a couple of seasons ever since we tried to get him.
Is he staying for you? So in 3 weeks' time, when that window closes, will Declan Rice be appearing in a West Ham shirt?
If you'd asked me the question a week and a half ago, I would have said, yeah, he's staying 100%. No more than 100%, mate, because you can't get much more than 100% of quality. But seriously though, it's just with Grady going, anything's possible. That Grady going is the last, like you said a few days ago. It is the straw that broke the camel's back. They have reneged on everything that they said over the last 5 to 6 years now, and that's why that was all the hoo-ha was around. But yeah, I'm still confident we're going to keep him till the end of the transfer window. January, not so confident.
Next summer, it depends on where Kante goes as well.
Yeah,
there's loads of rumours that Kante's being linked with Inter Milan and stuff like that. If he goes, I'd be very nervous. Very nervous.
Bearing in mind, obviously, we're supposed to be having the Euros coming next year, right? this is Dex's prove himself to the world season. I know he's been under a lot of criticism for the recent games he's had for the England games, but at the same point, some very, very knowledgeable journalists that have a bigger IQ than the teenagers that are on Twitter that have been abusing him have been saying he was one of their best players, England's best players over the last couple of weeks. So, but at the same, as I say, if, like you said earlier, mate, enjoy every single game that we've got while we've got him, because at the end of the day, we just don't know when he's going to go.
That's it, mate. Yeah, I towards the end of last season, which wasn't long ago, I was saying it's the farewell tour for Declan, because I was convinced he was going, but I said, I don't know. I hope he's there. I'll be a lot more confident of that 17th place if he does stay.
As Baz and I were talking about on Wednesday, right? It's it will be football suicide for the owners to sell Dex within the few days left of the transfer window. I know. I mean, Paul's completely right what he's saying. If anything's going to happen, it's going to be towards the last days of the transfer window.
Run out of time.
Yeah, and if they do, as Paul's quite rightly been saying, I agree with you two when you were saying about it the other day that £40 million bid will turn their heads big time. 2-3 days before the end of the transfer window. Bad news, but it's chopping block time for those owners. It really will be.
What do you make on that then as well, mate? So let me just get that question down. Sorry, Kent. No offense to you. So all the takeover stuff. What is your take on it, mate? I said myself, I don't. There's something in it, but it's not. I don't think it's as quick as being publicised. I think it's all a little bit smoky. Clickbaity, should I say? I don't know.
Completely. Again, as Baz and I were talking about on Wednesday, it depends on what this bloke defines as end of the year. Does he mean by New Year's? No, never going to happen. Does he use the Sky Sports? Is he using the Sky Sports terminology that a lot of people use, end of the year as in the end of the season? There could be something by the end of the season. At the end of the day, it's what we all know. Trip Smith was brought into the club for in the first place a couple of years ago, was to have that thought of trying to sell the club, probably trying to sell the club in line with them not having the tax thing that they've got to give to the government in the next 2 or 3 years. But yeah, I mean, I saw, because obviously again, Spencer did the conversation with the secret agent, and he said apparently the bid that is coming from the consortium, I'd say apparent because we have no idea if it's true or not, is going to be taking into consideration that amount that they've got to pay to the council. But as he quite rightly stipulated on his Twitter account, and I think when he spoke to Spence the other day, he's not a West Ham ITK. He's been telling Spencer what he's been hearing. So, it's I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still maintain it's massively the timing's too good to be true.
Yeah. And again, is it that's like sell season tickets because we might have new owners by Christmas, and then in January they're going to spend £200 million on players. Blah 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 blah. Who knows? Next
football bid, mate. Next football player bid Wednesday afternoon. You watch.
What do you make of
4 minutes past 5?
What would you make of American owners, though? If it was American owners, American owners have got that, they've got a bit of a bad reputation, American owners, in terms of they don't spend a lot of money. It can be a bit stubborn, I know Liverpool fans, originally were a bit thingy with American owners. What about you, mate?
Well, this is the thing. We don't know who they are. So it's difficult to, just because the American owners that own Man United, and like you say, the Fenway Group with Liverpool, you can't get much further apart than those two. So without knowing who these guys are, it's a little bit difficult to make a decision on it. But at the end of the day, as long as the owners don't do a Birmingham and sell to the first person with a big enough checkbook who screwed the side up, then I think we'll be fine as long as they've got. This is the thing with it, was the fact, this is what I love about the Premier League's due diligence course, that they have to prove themselves.
I think a lot of that came from the Birmingham deal as well, didn't it? I think that was introduced because of that, and
all the shaky stuff around getting Leeds being bought as well. It's just so, yeah, it is. It's good. It's good from that point of view. And I know a lot of people, including David Sullivan, loves to hide behind the fair play rules, but what's his name, Paul or Steve, I can never remember his name. The guy from Red Men TV did a really, really good video about the cost of football kits, about the Liverpool ones, and he says exactly the same thing that I've been saying about financial fair play. Is the fact the whole point of financial fair play is the fact that the club has to be self-sufficient. You can't, because of the rules, you can't be like the old days where the owners can just whack in 50-60 million pound every other week. We can't have that anymore. Which is a shame because we need that at the moment. But
well, it helps you catch up, doesn't it? I think that's the problem with it. It's hard for teams to catch up now because of that reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22. It's literally the fact that sides that make a lot of money in their business, either way, are still going to leave clubs like us in the dust, unfortunately.
That's it, mate. Bucky is a proper player, proper defender, loves coming from lower leagues. Josie puts it in nicely in All or Nothing documentary. He always says to them,
yeah,
oh, brother, I'll check you out later tonight. Good stuff. Yeah, check JP out tonight. If we buy him for 50 million, we'll sell him for 25 a few years later.
It's 25 quid knowing Darren.
Yeah, I would have put it past him, mate. Would not put it past him. Season ticket renewals have extended because the telephone lines were too busy. Yeah, and those 50k on the waiting list. It's a long old waiting list to get through.
Look, mate, I know you don't want anyone to swear on this, because some of your pupils may be watching, or some of your employers might be watching. But as my dad used to say, rhymes with Rolex, mate. There's no way in hell they're extending the pushing the renewal date back pretty much half a week because they haven't got enough people to take the phone calls. No way, it'd be the other way round.
That's the only thing, mate, actually. Back to the takeover, just quickly there, just to spark something now. It's the only reason that it may be quicker than you think, purely because I don't think they've got any money cash-wise. I think their businesses have all taken a hit. And that may be the push. They think, actually, do you know what? We'll take that percentage hit, the tax, whatever it is, to the government. I think there's a percentage to them council as well. I think that's part of the deal as well, something like that.
It's basically whatever 15, 20, whatever it is. It's all split into all the co-ownership.
Yeah, so maybe they're thinking, actually, why not? We need cash,
mate. But agreed, 100%. But that's not the way that they're thinking. It's been proven that's not the way that they don't.
I don't think they can give up the power either. I think they're too obsessed with power.
Exactly.
We're going to go for about another 10 minutes, guys. Thoughts on Michael Owen predicting 10th? I think JP said it in the chat earlier. I want whatever he's been saying.
Because he's clearly on some form of substance. I don't really. Is he not been playing?
I hope it's true. I hope he's right. Bloody hell.
I said when the fixtures came out that we'll finish the season on no better than 37 points. I really, really want to be proven wrong on this. I can't see us getting. I always say, no matter what, with the exception of the season before last, when we finished 10th, I said, all right, we should be finishing 9th as that next level progression thing. But I always say I'd be happy with top 15. I hate to say it.
You know what it is? My brain's doing this funny thing. My head brain is going 17th, but there's this bit of me here, West Ham heart, that goes, it's so bad, and we're expecting so little. Yeah, we're going to have one of them seasons where we go, oh bloody hell, we finished 8th. Oh, bloody hell, we finished 10th. You know what I mean? Like, it would be typical West Ham, typical us to go and finish a great season. I'd love to see it.
Don't get me wrong, mate. You're completely right on this, but the problem is the way that the board have been doing their business over the last few years. It's their line of thinking is Premier League survival is the minimum that has to happen, and as a result, we've all come into the same line of thinking. We just, there are three types of football supporters. There are those who think we're going to win everything. We're going to win the FA Cup. We're going to lead we're going to finish in the top 6. Blah blah blah. There's supporters like me who are just happy to see what happens and don't want to be too disappointed and don't want to be, but want to be proven wrong the whole time. And you get the other third. There's that we're relegated. We're not going to get anything. And it's hard, but I don't like to sit in the middle. Of course, I want us to finish as high up as possible. Everybody does, but like you said, mate, the heart overrules the head a lot of the time, and you got and the way that things are going, we've got just under 4 weeks till the end of the transfer window,
and we're not even being dangled with a carrot. You know what I mean? Like,
players have been promised to come
we brought in There's
Players
nothing.
have been promised to be bought in by the end of the transfer window, but it's too late by then. We should
Yeah,
have.
what do you make of that as well? On X's podcast, still identifying targets. Really, Dave? Really?
Well, I understand it because at the end of the day, I guarantee what happened was that when when last season finished, Moyes went in and said, "Right, here's the list of players that I want us to go and get." Yeah, and Sullivan's gone. Nope, can't afford that. 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 What else have you got? And that's what I reckon. That's what it is. There was no.
Do you like Jorge Jimenez from this South American team on loan?
Yeah,
here's one for you, Dave.
It's just it's
I
ridiculous.
reckon he's down to his maybe even below his fifth choices now.
Mate,
Matty Cash was definitely a target.
Yeah, it was in January before we bought Bowen in.
Target. Missed him now. Jamal Lewis we missed. Great signing.
Mm-hmm.
Would have had Fraser as well.
Yeah.
There's loads I would have had that we missed. Like Decore. If we had some money, Decore, I wouldn't be too upset if Rice would have gone.
Mm.
I think Decore could have come in. Him and Soucek could have worked. He's not as good. He's not as good as
I see you thinking behind it, mate. Totally.
You know what I mean? If you wanted to go, okay, we'll get rid of him, but we've got a very, very good player in there now.
Mm.
We're not doing nothing.
I mean, it's interesting reading this morning that Troy Deeney's been heavily linked with going to West Brom.
I would have him. I would have Troy Deeney.
100%, mate. I would
have
him and Allaire with Antonio together, the three of them, having Antonio out on the wings, we've got two up front. That would be incredible. I know everybody, and I'm sure the chat's going to go mental in a few seconds. But with
got to be realistic where we are.
The reason why we all hate Troy Deeney, the reason why we all hate Callum Wilson is because he scores against us.
Yeah.
And nasty goals.
He's horrible.
But we would love to have that striker in our side completely. Like you said earlier, mate, having some players that take the game by the scruff of the neck. They are the players that we need to sort of turn things around.
Definitely, mate. I would have Troy Deeney all day long. As a sort of club we are at the minute. We've got to be realistic where we are. Spencer was full of it. He was trying to hype up some nobody. It backfired. Say what you want about Spencer. He's never going to come on a channel this small, so I don't really care.
No, you never know. You never know, mate. You never know.
I've been trying to get him on for 5 years. He always just ignores me. Not important enough, Not doing Doritos adverts for him and stuff. As long as they have money, I don't care who they are. As long as they spend it, obviously, Gary, got to spend it. Fulham and Liverpool owners have, Fulham and Liverpool have good American owners. Yep. FFPP has been relaxed this season. I think it was a myth anyway for Sheezy. It's just the way of David Sullivan and Gold not spending any money.
No, I hate to burst that bubble, mate, but it is a legitimate thing. But yeah, ever since the Man City case again, everyone's been going, it's just bollocks now.
45% pick up on no season tickets so far. Worrying for them, definitely. What option did you take, John?
I renewed in full. I was tempted to do option 3, as I know a lot of people have done, and quite rightly so. I understand the reasons behind it. But I've just got a funny feeling this is going to be my last season as a season ticket holder, mate.
Until they go, maybe.
Pretty much. Baz asked me on Wednesday.
I can't blame you for that, mate. Honestly,
because Baz asked me, would you renew if we got relegated and they sold up? 100%. I'm not bothered about the league positions. I don't care as long as West Ham's trading. I will still watch the games.
Oh, of course.
I just don't. I just think this is one season too long now for me. That's why because I didn't want to do the option 3 and try and get my money back for the next season, because there's probably very, very good chance we're not going to be in that position. So that's why I took the full one now. I kind of regret doing it, if I'm honest. My uncle was a season ticket holder for quite a long time before we moved to the Bowling, and from the Bowling, and he's not stepped one foot in that London Stadium, and I don't disagree with him. Same thing with you, mate.
I did one season in now, and I've probably done 10 games since that first season.
Because I think that's when I met you was the last time you were there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the last. I think that game was that 4-0.
Yeah, it was the night game, wasn't it? If I remember.
Yeah, that's the last one. Yeah, I don't miss it, mate. I don't. I love going Tottenham. No, it's just a game that I have to go every year. But I don't miss it. Going to jump in the comments, try and finish up a bit now. Guys, nothing to look forward to until this lot are gone. I agree, mate. There's a lot of that feeling with the fan base, but if anything, it's brought us all together. That's one thing I do love that's this happened through this. I think a solid disappointing 12th place finish. Easy heights there, 12th. Deeney hates us. I like Deeney, hard, strong fighter who'll get you 10 goals. You know what it is with him as well? Non-league, one of them like Vardy, Antonio, non-league. You know, they've had to work their way up, and they know what it means and how lucky they are to be Premier League players. Deeney to West Brom makes sense. He's from Birmingham. Anything else, mate, you want to chat about before I wrap it up? Show's yours, mate. Floor's yours.
Oh, don't tempt me, mate.
Yeah, please.
To be honest with you, man, it's a worrying. I know we all have start of the season jitters. You know, we'll go, oh, it's great, the season's back, blah blah. As a football supporter, I'm loving the fact that football's back. As a West Ham supporter, I can't bloody stand it.
Liverpool Leeds later, I can't wait for. You know, it's a really exciting game. That is.
As much as I love when we play Newcastle, and as much of the time as I love Newcastle, the team themselves, I never thought I'd say this, mate, but I'd take Mike Ashley over us and our owners any day of the week. I really come on. He's still putting money in the side. They're
is that what question I'll ask you there, mate? Is I'm one of my best friends in work is a Newcastle fan. Is that just the 30 million deposit though that he got? If they were not in the brink of a takeover and that he didn't have that 30 million deposit, would he have spent that money?
But they were still signing players at the beginning of last season, decent players as well. You know, I mean, obviously the controversial decision about getting rid of Benitez and bringing in Steve Bruce, that's what clouded it all the Geordies last season. And totally right. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, they brought in somebody that wanted to, who's a local boy sort of thing, a bit of a PR stunt like us, and bringing Wilshere in last season before last. But no, I think Newcastle are more of a sleeping giant than we are. Simple as that. I mean, they are a very, very good side. They're always difficult to play against. You know, take Shelvey out of the equation, and then it's a bit more of an even balance.
Historically as well, mate, one of my favourite players of all time, Alan Shearer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've always had a sort of soft spot for Newcastle back in the day because of Alan. I was a big fan of Alan. Arsenal look good, to be fair. We're going to really struggle there next week. Not going to get a point. Yeah, we're not playing the Arsenal of last year. No. And I said at the time that is the worst Arsenal team I've ever seen. My years. It's not that Arsenal anymore. You know, that Arsenal team look good now.
I mean, today's result was exactly as everybody was expecting it to be. You know, no disrespect to Fulham, but they're not as organised as they're more organised than they were 2 seasons ago. They're not as I said to one of my housemates who's an Arsenal supporter, their back line is not strong enough to see out Arsenal. So 3-0 is how Arsenal should be playing. But yeah, we are massively in the mine next Sunday. Is it Sunday or it's this time next week? And it's Saturday. So
we've got Cheltenham Tuesday.
Yeah.
When he's the same. He came from Hereford. Hunger is in them players. You can't bite. Yeah, and again, that's down to scouting as well. You know, scouts identify this mental side and the hunger, and that's what you get when you ain't got one. Oh, here we go. Critical. Christian away from football. Do you think we are looking at a national lockdown again? I don't know how this country could. No, a lockdown will not happen. There will be individual ones. They're doing it now, but I can't see another national one. I don't know about you, mate. That's a real political question.
Well, it's not really politics. It's the state of the nation as it stands at the minute. It's the fact that the figures are jumping up left, right, and centre. You know, it was like 2,500.
They will never close schools again. They will never ever close schools again. That will never ever happen again.
No, but at the same point, we're coming up to flu season now. Remember, mate, next month, October, November is around about when people are getting exactly the same symptoms. The numbers are going to be could be skyrocketing again. It's very, very possible. You're more than likely though, Luke, mate. It's going to be locals for each individual boroughs, but if they don't figure out the difference between who's got COVID and who's got the flu that's going around, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Mate.
Just one question, mate. Just before
mate. Yeah, go on. I'll just read these 2 comments. Then you can ask one. Mike actually spends money. They hated him one day because they're down south. And Alan Shearer was my childhood hero. Go on, mate.
Yeah. Shearer's everybody's childhood hero, man. He was absolutely fantastic.
Legend, absolute legend, mate.
Thoughts on Tuesday for the cup?
I expect to see Cullen starting, and I think it's a chance for him. It's always the same way at the beginning of the season. Are we going to see Josh Cullen? Are we going to see Josh Cullen? I have to say, I thought he was excellent against Bournemouth the weekend. Came on, set up 2 goals. I think it's just that might see some difference in there. Apart from that, mate, I can't see us going for it.
Well, I know.
Bear with me. My daughter's crying. 1 minute.
All right. Well, I mean, from my point of view, it's everybody's been joking the fact that it's the derby of the 2 worst run clubs in London. But in terms of Charlton, I think we'll see more kids. It'll be interesting to see what everyone says here. I think we'll see. I think it'll be nice to see Baptiste as well. I've got a funny feeling we will. I agree with Luke. I think we are totally going to be able to see Cullen. I reckon we'll see Sunday Silva. But yeah, it's not looking good, guys. It really isn't looking good. For those that watch my channel, I won't be doing a preview for it. I haven't got time. I'm busy this weekend, unfortunately. But yeah, sorry.
I do apologise.
Sorry.
I do apologise.
No.
She's jumping off something and hurt herself.
Oh, bless her. She all right?
This child. Good point, JP. There are skeptics that actually test, don't pick, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I will finish, mate. A question that I ask on Twitter quite a lot. I'll ask it to you now, mate. Just to finish off, 3 reasons to keep believing.
West Ham United. But seriously, I mean, it's my love of the club. That will never change. Doesn't matter who we haven't had decent owners since the 60s, 70s. But it's my love of the club is trying to keep me believing. The fact that the fact that it's been around, well, you and me and loads of other people since pretty much the day we were born. Me, literally, with the day I was born.
Yeah.
So it's the family pride side of it, and not to sound too generic like Ray Winston did on them Iron Men, but West Ham are the people. The people make West Ham. The owners don't make West Ham. The stadium don't make West Ham. We make West Ham.
Mate, great way to finish there, mate. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining me. Just a nice little chat. Thanks for all the questions today. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to JP as well. We're so close to 3,000. I think he's very close to 2,000. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. So get us to get him to 2,000. Get me to 3,000. And that'd be a lovely way to celebrate, even if we do lose. Until then, guys, come on, you hands. Keep believing. Check both of us out. Let's go.